my beautiful friends, my name is Anna. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I am going to show you how to make a very impressive looking, very delicious dessert. I've made Pavlova here before on the channel, like a classic Pavlova. So if you want to check the video out, I'm going to leave it on this side, I never know where it is, but I'm making a winter citrus version because citrus are in season and they're very delicious at the moment and they're really inexpensive, which is a plus. We're going to be serving our Pavlova with a blood orange curd that's absolutely phenomenal. It is so delicious. It goes so well with the sweetness from the Pavlova because blood oranges are a little more tart than regular oranges. They're still sweet, but they're a little more tart. We're going to do some whipped cream on top, fresh citruses on top, and it's going to be so good. Let me show you the ingredients very quickly so we can get started. For the Pavlova itself, we're going to need some egg whites. We're going to need some granulated sugar, vanilla extract, cornstarch, cream of tartar, and now for the blood orange curd, we're going to need some blood orange juice, some more granulated sugar, whole eggs, egg yolks, and the zest of 1 orange. As you saw, very simple ingredients. You might already have everything on hand except maybe the blood oranges. If you can find blood orange, which I wasn't able to because I don't know what happened. I called every single supermarket around me and none of them had blood oranges, even though they're in season. If you can find the actual fruit, I was able to find some blood orange juice, cold press, just the juice, nothing else. And I'm going to be using that. So since I wasn't able to find the actual blood orange, I did zest a regular orange, and that's what I'm going to do for the curd. Here I have my egg whites and they are, like I said, room temperature. You want your egg whites to be at room temperature. It's very, very important. I'm going to add my cream of tartar right into the eggs. And we're going to beat these until they have reached very soft peaks. I'm gonna show you exactly what they look like once we get there. You can do this in your stand mixer. I'm doing it with my hand mixer because it is a lot easier to clean. And if you don't know by now, I don't like doing dishes. So I'm gonna do this with my hand mixer. You can also do it with a whisk, but remember, egg whites take a very long time to form. So you're gonna be whisking for a while if you do it with a regular whisk, but it's up to you, whatever you have, whatever you like, whatever you wanna do. Okay, so let me just beat these and I'll show you what they look like once we get there. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. As you can see, it has formed very soft peaks. And now gradually we want to start adding our granulated sugar. I'm going to start whisking again and gradually I'm going to add the sugar a little bit at a time. Okay, so this is about the last bit of my sugar. And you want to whisk this onto the meringue forms very stiff peaks and onto your sugar. It's pretty much combined all the way. So I'm going to show you a little trick for you to see once your meringue is done. Okay, so this whole process takes about, I would say, 5 minutes. The meringue is not done yet. I just want to go around the sides to make sure all the sugar is well incorporated. And if you're using granulated sugar, that's what I'm using. If you run your meringue through your fingers, you should only be able to feel the sugar a tiny bit, almost nothing. That's if you're using granulated sugar. A lot of people use castor sugar or extra fine sugar. I don't think it's necessary. I think this works perfectly fine. And I feel like this is the sugar everyone has on hand. So that's what I'm using. So I'm going to whisk this for about, I would say, 1 or 2 more minutes. And then I'm going to show you exactly what you're looking for. This is exactly what you're looking for. As you can see, the meringue hardly moves. You got a very stiff peak in there. That's exactly what you're looking for. Now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients, that being the cornstarch. Okay, and this is what's going to give that marshmallowy-like center, and a bit of vanilla extract, just like so. And this is homemade vanilla extract, by the way, and it has all the vanilla beans running through it, and it looks so pretty. So what you want to do now is very gently, you want to fold in the vanilla extract and the cornstarch just like so. You also want to start preheating your oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit so it can be ready by the time you're done. This looks pretty good. Everything should be well mixed in there. Okay, now what I have here is a baking sheet, or this is actually a cookie sheet, and I have a parchment paper in which I drew a 8-inch circle with a pencil. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but you obviously want to turn the parchment paper to the other side because you don't want the pencil to touch the meringue, but you want it as a guide to know exactly what size your pavlova has to be. Otherwise, it's just going to go all over the place. Very gently, we're going to add the meringue. So I'm gonna try to keep my meringue right into that circle. Okay, and as you can see, this is the reason you want to beat it for long enough so it can hold its shape. And now we're going to give it a bit of a shape. You want the sides to be pretty high, so that's what I'm trying to do here. And I also like to make a little well in the middle so we can add in the curd later on. This is what my pavlova looks like. I try to do the best as I could. As you can see, this will expand a little bit more as it bakes, but this is some sort of what you're looking for. So you can see it has very high sides. It has a little well in the center, so you can pour in your curd later on. The pavlova is going to go into the preheated oven for an hour. After it bakes for an hour, you want to turn off the oven completely and leave the pavlova there to come to temperature. Remember, the oven is at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, 250. So it's not very high at all. It won't cook a lot more, but it does have to cool there. That way it doesn't crack as much. The pavlova will crack a little bit because that's just what it does, and that's okay. That's the beauty of it. It looks a little rustic, but it's very elegant at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna come back here so we can make the blood orange curd, and then we just have to put the whole thing together and eat it. To make that blood orange curd, we're going to start by mixing the eggs and sugar together. You want to pretty much cream them together. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna start by whisking my eggs a little bit first, and then I'm going to add the sugar. You want to whisk this until the eggs are a little more pale in color, so they're not super bright yellow, but more of a pale yellow color. I don't know if you can see, but my eggs look a lot more pale in color. Now to add, we're pretty much gonna add the rest of the ingredients, that being the salt, blood orange juice, and if you're using fresh juice or even the cold pressed juice, whichever type of blood orange juice you might find, make sure you pass it through a sieve so you can remove any pulp that it might have. Okay, so I'm gonna add it right into the mixture along with the zest. And some people don't like to add a zest. I personally like to add a zest. It gives it a stronger, taste. We're gonna pass it through a sieve again. Once it's done, you can add a pinch of salt. Okay, now we're going to whisk this all together. Okay, this looks pretty good. And now we're going to cook this over a double boiler. Since I don't have a double boiler, this is what I'm doing. I have a saucepan here, and I also have a heat-proof glass bowl. You can use a mixing bowl, something that's heat-proof. And I also added about, I would say, 1/4 cup to half a cup of water to my saucepan. Make sure that the bowl doesn't touch the water at all. Otherwise, it's going to get the bowl way too hot and it's going to curdle your eggs, and then you're gonna have curd with scrambled eggs, and it's not delicious. Let me just tell you that. Let's go over to the stove so I can show you how to make this incredibly delicious curd. All I've done is turn on the heat to medium-low. I also added my mixture to the bowl, as you can see. You want to cook the curd until it has thickened quite a lot. So you can see right now it's very liquidy and it looks like nothing. Obviously, once it starts to cook, it's gonna look like a custard or like curd, in case you've never made curd. You also don't want to get it too thick because it will thicken as it cools down. I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing this mixing motion. You don't want to leave it on itself, otherwise it's just going to, like I said, and it's going to curdle, and that's not what we want. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing this for a little bit longer. This is gonna take about 5 to 10 minutes. So every once in a while you want to mix. You want to scrape the sides, scrape the bottom so nothing sticks. This is what my curd is looking like so far. As you can see, it has thickened quite a lot. You also want to get a bowl ready with a sieve. We're gonna pass this through the sieve. That way we can remove any curdled eggs. My curd is ready. And keep in mind that this will thicken a lot more once it starts to cool. For this specific recipe, I don't want curd super thick. I want it more runny so I can spread it all over the pavlova. So that is the reason it's not super thick. But you know it's ready because once I pass my finger through the back of the spoon, so you can see it stays separate, it doesn't come back together, so that's how you know it is ready. I'm going to take this off the heat so we can continue on to the next step. Okay, so I have my lemon curd here. I'm going to add in my butter, and you want the butter to melt completely. The butter has melted completely, ready to go. I'm gonna pass it through my sieve, like I said. Oh, we got rid of the zest. I didn't really have any lumps, but this is gonna help if you have lumps as well. So our curd is ready. All I'm gonna do now is cover it with some plastic wrap and make sure that the plastic wrap touches the curd. That way it doesn't form a film on top. I'm gonna let this rest at room temperature for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I'm going to pop it in the fridge so it can cool down a lot more and it can thicken up a lot more. And then once it's done, we can top our pavlova with it. And if you're making the pavlova, this step can be done ahead of time, a few days in advance, and you can have it ready so you don't have to do everything in the same day. So that's a little trick for you. My pavlova is ready, and what I'm doing now is slicing my oranges so I can decorate the top. Well, slicing my citrus. I'm gonna show you how to do it very quickly. Let me put this on the plate. Okay, so what you wanna do is remove the tip and the bottom. Just like so. You can get rid of that. And now you just want to remove the skin, just like so. It's very quickly, very easy. Make sure you get rid of the membrane, all the white stuff. We don't want any of that. Okay, this looks pretty good. And then we just simply slice it. Okay, and there you go. This is what we're gonna decorate our pavlova with. I'm gonna continue slicing my my fruit, and then I'm gonna show you how to put the whole thing together. Here's my pavlova. As you can see, thankfully it didn't crack as much. It only cracked as I was transferring to the cake stand, but it still looks very beautiful, and it looks beautiful. What else can I say? I decided to go with some cuties, oranges, grapefruit, and some lemons. And here I have my curd. And remember, we didn't make it very thick. We made it liquidy so we can drizzle it very easily all over the pavlova, just like so. You're gonna need about, I would say, half a cup. Now I'm gonna top it with some whipped cream. I'm gonna add the whipped cream right on top, just like so. Honestly, I dare you to tell me that this doesn't look impressive, because it does. So I'm going to start placing my slices in no particular order, just how I see fit, right? So I'm gonna do a few grapefruits, going in with a few cuties. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm gonna go in with a few mint leaves and just place them like so. Okay, and there you have it. Let me give you a close-up so you can see how beautiful it came out. So this is how my winter citrus pavlova came out. So you can see this is definitely a showstopper. It is so beautiful. It's gonna taste even better. If you want, you can also sprinkle some coarse sugar on top of the citrus, especially the grapefruit, so it's a little sweeter. But come on, doesn't this look absolutely beautiful? Look at those colors, so pretty to look at. It's gonna look even prettier in my belly, if you know what I mean. You guys, bear with me as I cut into this. I'm gonna try to cut it the best I can. Look at that. Can you see that? I mean, I am not the best at cutting cakes or anything of that sort, but all I know is this comes out so incredibly delicious. I want you to look at the insides. It's literally an edible crowd. It is so fantastic. And here I have my piece. About to eat it right now. Let's do this. Let me get a little bit of that curd Honestly, words can describe how good this is. I'm gonna give this away. Otherwise, I will eat the whole entire thing myself. I promise you, if I keep it in my house, I will eat it all. It's that good. I'm so glad I was able to spend time with you guys in my kitchen. This is where the most magical things happened. Honestly, I think that you will absolutely love this recipe. If you make it, remember, tag me on my Instagram, Anitas Delights Recipe, so I know how yours came out. I know it's gonna look fabulous because there's no wrong way to do this. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.